Is the Womier SK65 still worth it in 2025? The short answer is yes, and maybe even more than ever. Why? Let's break it down. This board just got a refresh, a price drop, and a feature set that still holds up strong, even against the newer options like the Lucky65 V2 and Yunzii AL68. After the price cut, the Womier SK65 cost just $75.99 US. This is the long-term review of the Womier SK65. So a big shout out to Team Womier for sending out the board. Just a heads up, I do have the original release of the Womier SK65, but in the refresh, except for some few changes, the rest are identical. Now, if you all can recall, this was released right after the legendary Sugar 65 alongside the Lucky 65 V1. In fact, both of these were probably made in the same OEM factory with the same PCB, but a better experience versus the Lucky 65 V1 plus a knob. The Womier SK65 case has a few colorways options with either e-coating or anodization. At the back, there is this anodized aluminum backplate with Lucky engraving. The tapping angle here is 6.5 degrees, which is per the standard. The machining process is really good and the board feels quite good in hand. It weighs around 1.6 kg. The refresh actually added a new magnetic ball catch mechanism that makes the board super easy to open and easy to mod. A lot of boards these days are now adding this, so this is a plus point. At the top right, there is this nice aluminum rotary knob that can be used for volume control and RGB control as well. The rotary knob is really nice with good tactile feedback during rotation. The case is matched by this nice quality and decently thick straight profile double shot PVT keycaps. The fonts are quite conspicuous and they are great to type on. For the mounting, it uses silicon gasket socks mounted on the PCB. This mounting style gives a separation between the top and the bottom frames, creates even sound across the board, and a decent level of flex, thanks to the flex cut PCB. It's not as bouncy as the other forms of gasket mounts, but to me, it's perfectly fine. It uses an FR4 plate in the V2 variant, and the V1 variant that I have here uses the nylon one. Quite an odd choice of plate, to be honest. The PCB is a 1.2mm 5-pin hot swap with south-facing RGB LED and flex cut, just like all the recent boards these days. While I don't like the thin flex cut hot swap PCB, this has been a norm in the keyboard scene for quite some time, so we gotta accept it. For the hot swap socket, it uses J-weak ones. The main change in Womier SK65 versus the V1 is the usage of QMK VIA instead of proprietary software. In my opinion, it's a big win, since you can just program the PCB irrespective of what platform you are in using the web app. The VIA can be used to program the PCB to the fullest. Plus, it has native Mac mode too. Interestingly, it's a very dynamic PCB that supports quite a variety of layouts. All you need is a compatible plate. In addition to the wired connection, you can connect it wirelessly over Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz dongle. Also, to keep the design language clean, the wireless mode switch is hidden beneath the tab key. The battery life is 3750 mAh and it's okay at best. The battery life depends on a few things like RGB brightness and mode in which you are connected in. Bluetooth mode drains lesser battery as it has 125 Hz polling rate. Speaking of polling rate, in wired and 2.4 GHz mode, you will have standard 1000 Hz polling rate. Latency on this board was quite good, unlike the Lucky 65 V1. It's quite surprising considering both of them are basically rocking the same PCB. For the switches, it has Womier's full POM mint linear switches that come in factory loop. It has a 20mm single-stage spring. It actuates at 2mm distance with 42 grams of force and bottoms out at 3.8mm distance at 50 grams of force. So, in terms of feel, it stands in the middle, not too light, not too heavy. Sound-wise, it's a bit on the higher pitched end with a bit of a poppiness. It's more on the treble side. Plus, the board rocks factory-tuned plate-mounted stabilizers and tons of foam. So, how the board sounds overall? Let's hear it. Now, in this day and age of creamy keyboards, I really like the sound this board produces, just like how an aluminum-made keyboard should. This is due to the solid build and the internal structure to propagate the sound. Plus, the nylon plate, in addition to the Womier switch, did result in high-pitched sound that I really like. Not only this one, but all the switches used in this build sounded high-pitch and fuller despite all the flex cut. It sounded really good and had no ping or stabs rattling. So it's safe to say that you don't need to mod it, and it's perfect for the newbies who just want a plug-and-play keyboard right out of the box. Daily driving it was fun for typing, and also I didn't see any issues with the latency in wireless mode. As for the battery life, in the Bluetooth mode and without RGB on, it can last up to 200 hours. So, to summarize, this held up extremely well in the long run. So it's obvious that the specs are top-notch and overall the board is almost perfect. In order to understand why this keyboard is still relevant after 1 year, we need to take a look into the alternatives that are available in a similar price range. And basically there are two, the Yunzii AL68 and the Lucky65 V2. I am intentionally not considering AL66 as it's kind of outdated. AL68 is priced at $90 and have very similar specs to the Womier SK65 V2 with a nice backplate, knob, gasket mount and QMK via, but it doesn't have the quick release. On the other hand, the Lucky65 V2's pre-built variant ranges from $70 to $80 and the specs are almost the same, so hence that should be the logical competition. So let's compare it head to head. Build-wise, both are solid, have great case finishing, nice back weight, and magnetic ball catch mechanism. Though the Lucky65 V2 has a slightly improved mesh backplate and a badge where you can store the dongle, I would call it a tie to be honest. Both uses the same gasket socks mounting, both have FR4 plate, both have same type of 5-pin hotswap PCB with south-facing RGB LED and flex cut, both PCB supports multiple layout, supports QMK via, and have the same 3750 mAh battery. So the main differentiating factor between these two is a knob. So if a board is as good as a Lucky65 V2 in terms of value, why it shouldn't be considered in 2025? If you need an aluminum keyboard with wireless connectivity, decent switches and knob, this is going to be your gem. Even at times I've seen these boards price going down below $65. So for that price, it's even a crazy deal. So yeah, the Womier SK65 is still a solid, all-round and perfect 65% aluminum keyboard for just $75.99. With that, I'm wrapping up for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Womier again for sending out the board. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and ding the notification bell to see more such head-to-head coverage on great boards like this in future. With that, goodbye and have a great day.